I'm Andra Rogers with the Electric Power Research Institute. I'm not sure if anyone in here has heard of EPRI before. We do research for the electric utility industry, and I have been focusing on electric transportation for the last 10 years that I've been at EPRI. My focus has been non-road electric transportation, and specifically airports and airport ground support equipment. Lisa asked me to be here today just to talk a little bit about some of the new things we've been working on, and so that's what I'm going to share with you today. And I'd also planned to share with you a few things that we'd worked on the last few years. This industry may already know some of this, but I thought I would highlight some of the benefits of what we've done as well. Some of the drivers. We really have a lot of emphasis with the air quality improvements for ground support equipment. A lot of requests that we get for information are revolved around the air quality improvements. So that has been one of our major drivers. A second driver is obviously economic benefits. If it can't produce a positive payback, it's going to be hard to do or hard to justify. So both of those drivers are really key components of the foundation of our research. And as I heard yesterday, for some, the local air quality regulations are more easily met with the electric GSE. So some people have a driver of being regulated to do so. We host a meeting every year for airlines and airports, and we really ask the industry, what are your needs? How can EPRI, through our research and through our research grants, how can we help you this year in developing new products or help you promote the products that are already out on the market? Here's some of the equipment that are already common, available in electric. I'm sure everyone here is very familiar with these. I've seen a lot of these out on the floor in past years. And some of the new things that we've been working on. It's a little hard to see, but this is a container loader. We started this project actually 2 years ago where we had a need for, we saw that this equipment was ideal for electrification. It really moved from point A to point B, and it sat there for a while. It did a lot of work, but it wasn't moving a lot. I believe I saw that it idled 80% of the time. This type of equipment we really look at for opportunities to electrify because of its duty cycle. It seemed like a really good fit. So we worked with FMC and Avarest, and we helped participate with them on creating a retrofit kit, is what they call it. And we were able to swap out the engine and put in an electric motor into this piece of equipment. This equipment has been running at Delta Airlines in Atlanta for about a year now. It's been very successful. I believe they said that it's never actually ran out of juice. They use it for almost 2 days sometimes without even plugging it in. So it looked like it was a good fit for this duty cycle. Something I wanted to mention too is we liked the idea of retrofit. We understand that it's not always easy to have a need and to just go and buy all new equipment. You know, that's a little bit difficult to do for some. So we liked the idea of retrofit. And so this was a really good application for it. We have some information that you can download at our website for free. It's epri.com/ET. So you're welcome to download the details of that project there. FMC also offers this product, these retrofit kits, directly from them. So originally when we started this project, it wasn't something that was commercially on the market. We really wanted to test it out and see what the costs and benefits were, how the conversion took place, and really how it ran. Did it run the same as your other vehicles? Did the drivers notice a difference? And the results were all positive. They had some questions about no noise, the same kind of things that you would get from converting your equipment. And since it was on the same exact truck that they're used to driving, it was a much easier employee acceptance. Another effort that we looked at, I believe 2 years ago, is with Southwest Airlines. And really, we saw that Southwest was doing something pretty innovative. They had implemented a gate services program, and so we took a little time and just highlighted their program, and that's something also that you can download from our website. What they had done is decided that they were able to tell by each turn how much fuel they were using through their jet engine and APU at each turn. They calculated that and saw that there was a great opportunity for savings if they could electrify that aspect of their business. The technology was available. They did have some growing pains when it comes to getting power there that was easy for the employees, but they overcame that, and they have a very successful program now because of it. And something I like to highlight about this program is it really wasn't so much that the technology wasn't ready, it was really getting their employees on board with this. That really made this successful. They had everyone from the ground up have input into the processes for doing this, the pros, the cons, the consequences, and really every facet of it. And they did that very well. So this case study that we did not only focuses on the technology, but also focuses on really the employees as well. Their ability to be part of the process and therefore own really a lot of the results. And here's something that we've done a few years ago, and as you can see down here, there's quite a few partners that were involved in this. We developed a tool that will help you as users enter in your ground support equipment currently and what it would be if you were electrified. This tool gives you costs, benefits, and also emissions estimates of reductions. So I thought this would be really helpful for this group if you were interested. I mean, this is a tool that's available. We had a lot of participation on this. EPRI was actually a small part of this whole project. There's a lot of people that came together to do this. And they obtained this information by looking at 4 different sized airports. We know that regional airports versus international airports, everyone's operations are going to be a little bit different. So we took 4 regional samples and used a few different airlines' data, and were able to come up with this model. And now I'm going to pass it over to a colleague, Ryan Gibson, who's going to talk to you a little bit more about some of the power requirements.
One of the biggest obstacles that you find on the ramp in converting to electric isn't necessarily the vehicle so much anymore, but the available power. So one of the projects that EPRI took on was to take an estimate of usage on average fleet sizes and fleet vehicle types and put together the power usage so that if you were going to do an electric project, you know how much power to design into a new terminal or to add to during a remodel or refit of a terminal so that you could draw enough power out to the ramp to power your electric vehicles. Some of the results, you know, push tractor, narrow body push tractor, usually they have 2 batteries, uses 20 to 30 kilowatts per day. Container loader with 2 batteries may use up 40 to 60 kilowatts per day depending on the different applications. Belt loaders with 1 battery each run about 20 kilowatts per day, and a bag tractor with 1 battery runs 40 to 60 kilowatts, again depending on what your duty cycles are at the individual airports, whether you're running a lot of freight or you're running a lot of bags, how far you go to your bag room to put on the carousel. So if all the vehicles, this is an average wide body gate utilization, if all the vehicles would plugged in at the same time, the gate would require a minimum of 120 to 170 kilowatts. So maybe 6 chargers rated at 40 kilowatts each would cover what your utilization is for each gate. So what we did was come up with this part of the model to show how much power would be needed if you were going to remodel a gate or remodel an airport to bring power out to the gates to be ready for the electric fleets. One of the other things that we worked on with EPRI over the years was for sharing power. For airports where there's very limited power, you know, you think of an airport, it has a lot of power, there's lights and jet bridges and 400 hertz and PCR, but most airports are power strapped. They don't have a lot of power. Airports like LaGuardia and Kennedy, they've been around for years. without planning is for things like point of use 400 hertz, point of use air conditioning. Those guys don't have any power left in the terminals. So what we came up with was a technology whereby the charger could share power with another load. So you have a jet bridge. It's used about 5 minutes out of every hour, but it has a dedicated circuit that is allocated 100 or up to 200 amps depending on the size of the bridge. That power is only used 5 minutes out of an hour, and so if you shared that with a charger, you could then use that infrastructure that's already in place at an airport where they didn't have spare infrastructure for a charging system. And the way it works is the bridge has control. When the bridge needs to move, it draws the power that it needs. There's a load sensor on that circuit that says, okay, the bridge is running, shut the charger down. And this technology is available from 2 different suppliers. Both PosiCharge and E-Tech offer it. But it was developed through a project with EPRI. And the case study is also on the web. Go ahead. We're doing one of the current projects that EPRI is looking at is an analysis of Seattle-Tacoma International Airport. The entire airport is looking at electrification and how that electrification can happen to reach the objectives that the airport has for expansion. And AviationPros, along with the Seattle Airport and Alaska Airlines, worked on a consortium to figure out what the equipment needs were at the airport and how they were going to pay for it. And in that process, they got 2 grants, one from Department of Energy through the Clean Cities program, and the other one was the $7 million VAIL grant funding. So they have $12 million towards their about $45 million needed to do these programs. So that's a significant discount if you think you're going to spend $45 million on GSE and you get a $12 million hit right off the top of, that's almost a third of it being covered by the government. So you think about a 33% discount on your equipment purchase price. They formed a consortium to work with the airlines at the airport to identify what vehicles the airlines wanted to use and to purchase those for the airlines and then lease them back. That consortium is being formed as we speak so that they can be the intermediary between the airport funding and the airline usage of the vehicles. And I think right now they're deciding on who's really going to own and maintain the vehicles on behalf of the consortium. And this is not forced. This is an optional program for the airlines at Seattle. So this is working with the airlines in a beneficial structure where it's not the airport coming down and saying, by 2012 everything has to be electric, we don't care how you do it. This is a cooperative effort. It's a good project, and it's something that I think can be modeled for other airports around the country. One of the proposed projects for EPRI, we have a lot, as Andra showed in an earlier slide, there's a lot of belt loaders, baggage tractors, stairs, narrow body push tractors. All of those vehicles have been electric for a number of years. One thing that the industry has lacked, and that we've noticed in some of the meetings, is the airlines are bringing up, and the ground handlers for that matter, there's no electric version of cargo tractor, not that will do the distances required under the loads that the cargo carriers see. So one of the projects that EPRI is looking at doing is working with a partner to develop an electric tractor specifically for running freight. So 60,000 pound capable, distances of several miles, and we're exploring the technology, what it's going to take as far as battery technology, tractor technology, and putting that together and coming up with a product that we can actually test at an airport and show that electric vehicles can be done in this duty cycle. Another project is the development of a step-down box to convert 400 hertz to 60 hertz to allow the 400 hertz systems to power a charger. In those cases where the 400 hertz is underutilized, that power could be shared, similar to the jet bridge sharing power, where you take the 400 hertz, step it down to 60, and power a charger out of it. And then we're also looking at analysis of alternative GSE. We think of, when we talk about electrics, we think of a core group of vehicles that are commonly electric. The vehicles outside of that core group is what we call alternate electric, or the possibilities for alternate GSE. So looking at things like catering trucks, wide body push tractors, maintenance lifts, the other equipment that works on the ramp that's not maybe as prevalent in unit numbers. So you have 100 bag tractors, but maybe you have 2 maintenance lifts. A lot of focus has not been made on electrifying those because the numbers are so small. But one thing that we're seeing is with the regulations and the diesel rules and the Tier 4 engine requirements, that there is now a demand, or there is an increasing inquiry into electrifying these other units. Gate Gourmet is, I believe, is exploring electric catering trucks. Charlotte has developed an electric maintenance vehicle. So EPRI has taken the task of developing or doing a market analysis of what's electric, how much of the market is electric, and what of these other alternate GSE can be electrified, and what technologies would be required, both motor technologies, battery technologies, controller technologies, and then how that would be integrated into an airport operation.